Mahoney.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Elwell.
Here.
Chairman Shotwell.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any items for addition or removal? Corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Duly carried. Is there any communications or petitions to come to the board in writing? Please present them to the clerk at this time. Seeing or hearing none. Any awards and recognitions? There is none tonight.
Mr. Chair, we do have one, a recognition.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Commissioner Williams' birthday.
Woohoo!
Happy birthday, Commissioner Jonathan Williams. Did you plan to lead us all in happy birthday, Commissioner Leitner?
Well, I don't sing, but Daniel Mahoney volunteered.
That's correct.
I didn't know I was leading, but if y'all sing with me, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear John.
Happy birthday
to you.
Thank you. We've now arrived at the first opportunity for public comment. Public comment, each individual will please state their name. You have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Public comment.
Good evening. Thank you. John Wilson, City of Jackson resident. Tonight, the commission will be voting on spending just over $1 million on a street sweeper, jet vacuum catch basin cleaner, and a pothole patching machine. Question. Since residential property owners in the city pay almost as much in property taxes to the county as it does to the city, why can't these machines be used on our city streets? No disrespect, but it's obvious both commissioners who represent the city and its taxpayers would rather have city residential property tax dollars be spent on helping out Calhoun County and its roads by continuing with the road sharing agreement between Jackson County and Calhoun County. As I've stated publicly many times before, the Jackson-Calhoun County's road sharing agreement needs to end, and the county needs to instead begin working with the city of Jackson on a street road sharing agreement. That's at least the two commissioners who represent the city could possibly look into. It would certainly be appreciated. Thank you.
Peter Bournemouth. I wanted to comment on some recent work by the Road Commission here in Jackson County. Stonewall Road, Hinckley Boulevard, and Hague Avenue have been repaved. And people out in that section of town, or section of the county, are very pleased that they now have smooth roads. Obviously, McDivitt remains to be done. Emmons remains to be done. Kimmel, all the streets around the college remain to be done. But this is a great start, and I just wanted to say what a good job that was done, and hopefully it holds up for a long term. And I guess I'd like to respond to that. I feel like the agreement we have with Calhoun County also helps Jackson County, and that it has allowed us to build, a very strong department here. And I appreciate the purchase and use of new technology, given the deplorable state of our roads. But I would like to add that the city of Jackson roads are terrible, and as I said at the last meeting, I would like to see you encourage the leasing or the use of this equipment on the city roads, because we have 2 city areas that are represented by commissioners here, and they should not be ignored. So thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. We have no special meetings of standing committees. Entertain a motion for the approval of the May 15th, 2018 meeting. We have a motion and support. Any questions or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. We've arrived at the consent agenda. Have a motion and support for the consent agenda. Any items for removal tonight? Seeing nor hearing none. Madam Clerk, could you post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Consent agenda passed unanimously. Standing committees, the appointments, agencies, and affairs chaired by Commissioner David Elwell, the Vice Chairman. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a number of appointments tonight. First up is the Land Bank Authority. It's one nonprofit corporation member. There's no applicant nor recommendation from committee on it. We'll continue to advertise. For the Traffic Safety Program, we have 5 appointments. The first is a Commissioner Representative. Sarah Leitner is the member and the applicant, and the recommendation from committee.
Any nominations from the floor? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried.
One Senior Citizen Representative. Joe Evans is the current member, applicant, and recommendation from committee.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
One Citizen Representative. Carl Zoller is the current member, applicant, and recommended appointment.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
One Education Rep. Janelle Butchler is the current member, applicant, and recommended appointment.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
One Engineering Representative. Angela Klein is the current member. There were no applicants nor recommendations from committee, and I'm hopeful that Mr. Bolt can give us a voluntold for next meeting. And then lastly, for the Traffic Safety Program, I have one Health Department Representative. Kelly Underwood's the current member, applicant, and recommendation.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
The Veterans Affairs Committee is one public member from the Vietnam vet. Joe Peak is the current member. There were 2 applicants, and Joe Peak was a recommendation from committee.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Commissioner Elwell.
Community Corrections Advisory Board, there's one service area member, no current member, nor applicant, no recommendation. We'll continue to advertise that. The Retirement Board, it's one commissioner appointment, appointed by the chair. I was the former member, did not reapply. Rodney Walls was the applicant, and the recommendation from the chair.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? It needs to be concurred with by the board. Commissioner Elwell.
And then lastly, we have the Upper Grand River Watershed Council. There's 6 seats. We only had 3 applicants, and if nobody minds, I'll do it in one fell swoop. The ones that sought reappointment and were recommended are Kenneth Price, James Seitz, and Jeff Snyder.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Elwell?
That'll leave 3 open seats we'll continue to advertise for, and that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Standing Committee Human Services, chaired by Commissioner Carl Rice. Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services has no business to come before the board tonight.
Thank you. Standing Committee Personnel and Finance, chaired by Commissioner Philip Duckham. Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have no business to conduct tonight.
Thank you. Unfinished business, the Board of Commissioners has none. New business. Administrator Controller's recommendation on right of refusal. Mr. Overton.
Well, we have a resolution before you to not take any property, but it just came to light tonight that at least one commissioner has a property he is interested in, so we would need a little time to take a look at that, on what the taxes are and what the merits are. So if you want to put it off to our first meeting in July, we could, but that's I think it's is it the first Tuesday in July that we have to, decide? So it's not a lot of time left.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, would it be okay to mention which property? That way commissioners will have a heads up on it.
Certainly.
It's a property at the southwest corner of North Jackson and Trail Street. It is a small lot with a building on it. It used to be the car wash. And my thought behind it is that potential parking for the fairgrounds for us, or potentially trade it off for something that's closer to the fairgrounds for parking. I'm not saying that we should take it, but I think we should look into it to see what's owed on it, what it would cost us, and if it makes sense to hold that piece out. So, thank you.
Board of Commissioners, we have a choice to make. We can vote, we can have a motion to postpone, or we can remain silent and it will appear on next month's agenda. What is your pleasure? This is discussion time. Does anyone want to speak?
Less is more. I say we just remain silent and wait.
I'm comfortable with that. I see nods around the table. Commissioner Duckham, are you comfortable? Okay, that's what we will do. This will appear on next month's business items. We have now arrived at public comment the second time. Each individual will state his or her name. You're given 2 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time. I understand that. I know that.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. Seeing no questions or public comment at this time, we've arrived at commissioner comment. Commissioners. Commissioner Leitner.
We have the official fair agenda out, or schedule out, so they're in the fair office right now. I didn't grab extras to set out here because they're still printing them, but it's hot off the press, has everything that's going on. So just as a recap, Sunday night we're going to have the country show, so it's John Anderson, Pam Tillis, and Little Texas. Monday we're going to have Darcy Lynn Farmer, who's the little ventriloquist. Tuesday is going to be Theory of a Dead Man and Pop Evil, and Wednesday will be Eddie Money and Night Ranger. And then Thursday is Veterans Day, sponsored by AT&T, so veterans with your ID can get in for free. And then Friday's the rodeo. So you can find this, I think, online, but for sure in the fair office.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Rice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned before, the fair is certainly first, but starting Thursday is the wonderful 61st anniversary of the Carp Carnival in Michigan Center. I'm sure Brad Flory will be there. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. And I'd like to make a quick comment here. This is unusual for me to do this, but I will. We have two commissioners that do represent the city, and they have spoke before about the city and the county when it comes to roads. And specifically, if you want to take a look at the minutes, I think you should find in the minutes in the past where Commissioner Williams has mentioned to our managing director, Christopher Bolt, about talking to the city in regards to the city roads. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Williams?
Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for that terrible rendition of Happy Birthday. Sarah, thank you for mentioning it. I do appreciate it. It was welcomed and it was kind. Thank you so much. And I appreciate greatly that David Elwell just hummed instead of actually sang, so.
Any other commissioner comments? Yes, sir.
You get your Medicare card now?
Not yet, not yet.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Just wanted to inform you guys how successful the Juneteenth celebration was this weekend. It was a beautiful day for a beautiful event. It was nice to see so many entities in the county collaborate for one event. And my partner in crime here, as I stated on the stage, was there, and it was nice. John was there as well as Chairman was there later in the afternoon, and it was just a beautiful event that I look forward to every year. And today is actually Juneteenth.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other commissioners? Okay, I'm going to use Chairman's prerogative to attempt to explain iced-tea and why the City of Jackson and the County of Jackson cannot blend funds at this time to repair roads inside the city, while we can have an alliance and a partnership by resolution between Jackson County government and Calhoun County government. First thing, the program with Calhoun County has literally saved us in hard dollars almost $1 million. So we have used that money for resources here. It's also allowed us the opportunity to hire a full engineering staff to run 2 counties and to begin cost sharing within those 2 counties. It's also allowed us a larger purchasing capability, so we've been able to buy salt, coal patch, hot patch, and other raw materials to repair the roads and create an inventory of equipment and raw materials to begin repairing Jackson County roads. Now, the question is, why did we have the 19 private contractors only start this year on Jackson's roads, whereas they started in Calhoun County last year? Well, you have to learn, and it's easier to learn with a smaller crew than it is to learn with a larger crew. Jackson has more roads, more paved roads, and had an opportunity to have more units available to supervise the private crews that were going to go out. We had 19 crews operating in Jackson County this year. Chris, how many did we have operating in Calhoun last year? 12? Yeah. So we had a better use and utilization of time and effort in Jackson County. The city, it takes 2 to partner. And while we have reached out repeatedly to the city, they have chosen a different pathway. They are utilizing their road repaving and operations to also update the water service to all of the homes that are antiquated. So the city's chosen that pathway, so we can't help them replace water, but we can help them where we can to work with them in partnership on roads. And I believe, Chris, we stepped right up and helped them on Stonewall, correct? From the city limits to the intersection? That's right, we stepped right up, showed up, and helped them pave that road. So we are more than willing to step forward and do that. I know that Mr. Bolt has been contacted by the city to assist them with oiling and stoning roads and then going back and fogging them. We're giving them estimates on that type of stuff, but at this time, they've not decided to utilize us. The state of Michigan separates the funds in the iced-tea funds. There is city funds, there is out-county urban funds, and there's out-county rural funds. And those 3 pots of money are not allowed to commingle. You can use staff, but if you look at the budget and the audit that comes down on the road commission, it shows number of hours provided rural, number of hours provided urban, a number of man labor hours that are involved in this, and that's why we're not allowed to blend that money. It has to do with the state legislature, not the County of Jackson, and its willingness to partner and form alliances with other counties, like we have done with Lenawee, Washtenaw, Livingston, in many different instances to do things that work very well together. We combined health departments at one time with Livingston County, and that worked very, very well for 5 years. We've partnered with Washtenaw and Lenawee counties to put together our SISMA group to combat invasive species, whether it be on land or along roadways or any of that type of stuff. So where we can form alliances, we will. Where the neighbors are open to sharing, we will. And where the neighbors are not interested in sharing, then somebody politically needs to have that conversation with them. We will continue to reach out with them. We meet with the city monthly and put together as many different plans as we can for shared services, whether it be Jack's Policy Committee, Parks and Recreation, anything that we can do. So on that note, I thank everyone for listening to my interesting presentation, I'm sure, as everyone looks at me, because they've all heard this before. And we will continue, though, John, to reach out to the public, to the public sector and the private sector, whether it be the federal government or however we can, to form partnerships and alliances. Any other commissioners? Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there support?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.